What's up everyone, Terraquake here, and welcome on back to our Pokemon HeartGold walkthrough. In part number 1 yesterday, we began our adventure, went to Professor Elm's lab, and picked up our lovely Totodile, the very first Mon that will be on my team for this series. And then we made our way here to Route 30 in order to meet up with Professor Oak and Mr. Pokemon, who gave us a mysterious egg, and then we got a mysterious call from Professor Oak saying that Professor Elm. All these professors are confusing me. But yeah, he was saying that a disaster has struck back at the lab and we need to get there in a hurry. So I can't really get there in too much of a hurry if I keep on running into wild Pokemon. But yeah, luckily Totodile is fast enough to run away from these people. Really, no matter what starter you chose, they should be quick enough to get away from the wild Mons. Now, luckily, once we get through these patches of grass, there's a nice little shortcut we can take back to Cherry Grove City, and you can actually make it all the way back to New Barktown without touching any more grass, thanks to the amazing creations of ledges, which I will show off right here. You can hop down them, but your player is like too short or something to go back up them. I don't really get it. Anyways, we're back here in Cherry Grove City, and Totodile's already at full HP, so I'm gonna head on back to New Barktown and not stop at the Pokemon Center, but wait! A mysterious boy has crossed our paths. And if you remember, this is the guy that was actually staring into the window of Professor Elm's lab back in New Barktown. He even kicked us out of the way, and now he's challenging us to a Pokemon battle. And coincidentally enough, he's gonna have one of the starter Pokemon, so I'm sure you can start to see where this is going. Basically, he stole a starter from Professor Elm's lab, so we have to take him down in this battle. Now, like any rival, he's going to choose the starter that is super effective on yours. So because I chose Totodile, he's got Chikorita. If you chose Cyndaquil, he'll have Totodile. And if you chose Chikorita, he'll have Cyndaquil. So he'll always have that type advantage on your starter. However, hopefully, you pick up other Pokemon along the way to counter his starter. And for this first battle, all you can really do is go for either, Scratch or Tackle, whichever one you have. Luckily, his Pokemon doesn't have, Razor Leaf or Water Gun or Ember yet, so he's not going to be super effective on you unless you get super unlucky with critical hits, then you should be fine. Keep in mind, we also got those 5 potions from the Professor Elm assistant back in New Barktown, so even if you do get crit a bunch, you should be fine. This battle is just about unlosable, even if you are still at level 5. I don't even know if unlosable is a word, but whatever. It's a word now for me. So, down goes his Chikorita. We almost get to level 8, and he is going to just kind of push us out of the way and keep on walking. And the funny thing is, though, he's going to drop his trainer card. So, now we saw what his name is, even though he doesn't have a set name. I mean, sure, you could say Silver, but you're actually going to decide what his name is in just a second. Now, real quickly, I never knew this, but apparently there was a hidden potion wherever he was standing, except I am not finding it. Bulbapedia is telling me that there was a hidden potion, but I think Bulbapedia could have been lying to me because I don't see a hidden potion, Bulbapedia. So, I don't know what that's about, but you were just straight up lying to me, man. Can't even lie. Alright, that's okay. Oh, you know what? I was reading that wrong. It's actually back in New Barktown. Great! I just wasted like 20 seconds doing that. Anyways, you can take this little shortcut with the ledges back to New Barktown. And now, by the time we get there, if I don't click on a tree, the cops are going to be there, and they're going to be investigating the situation. Real quickly, they'll let me grab that hidden potion that I still never knew was here. We just got to, there we go, face the house and pick it up. So, yeah, never knew that potion was there. Bulbapedia coming out with the new info. Anyways, here is Professor Elm and the cop. And at first, the cop's going to believe that we must be the one that stole it, even though Lyra comes in here and saves the day, saying that it was actually a red-haired boy. And we actually just fought a red-haired boy, obviously. So, he asked if we got the name, and this is where you can come up with a name for the rival. And I just came up with this on the spot. I'm going to call him Passerby. Oh, you know what? That doesn't even make sense. Or, sorry, that doesn't even fit, though. Basically, Bulbapedia refers to him as Passerby Boy. but even Passerby is not going to work. Alright, you know what? We're doing this. Passer. That's your name now, and I completely spelled that wrong. What am I doing? Hey, we've got Passer, the rival. Man, that just... that looks so dumb. Alright, you know what? What if we do it with one... Okay, hold on. I got a solution. I have a solution. We do it with one S. It might look more like Pacer Boy, but at least we're going to be able to fit it. So if we do capital B and then a Y, there we go. Passerby. We're going to pronounce it like Passerby. There we go. Yeah, I just find it funny that Bulbapedia refers to him as Passerby Boy. I think his, you know, generic name is like Silver or something like that, but you can call him whatever you like. And anyways, Lyra will talk to us a bit before leaving, and now it's time for the real news, the mysterious egg, which we will give to Professor Elm. Now, he's going to check it out for a bit, but actually, after you defeat the first gym, you'll get this egg back and have a chance to hatch it into a Togepi, as I said in yesterday's episode. So yeah, that is pretty neat, and that is really all there is to it. He's, you know, he's realized that we enjoy going on an adventure with our Pokemon, so he's going to let us take on the gym challenge here in the Johto region. He says we should strive to become a Pokemon champion. But first, we should stop and talk to our mom. Now, I actually jumped the gun in the last episode. I thought, you know, on your first time in New Barktown, she would ask if you wanted her to keep your money, but now she's going to ask if you want her to keep your money. And this is pretty important. Basically, if you say yes, then a part of all of your reward money that you get for beating trainers and gym leaders will go to her, and she's going to use that money at Pokemarts to buy like really random items. I mean, sometimes they can be useful, but other times not so much. If you say no, then you just get to keep all of the prize money for yourself. So I like to say no because really your mom's items that she buys, they just don't come in handy too often. So I am going to pass on that. And for now, we're going to move on to Route 29. And Lyra is now going to show us how to catch a Pokemon. This is just about the final part of the tutorial section of the game, I guess you could call it. And she's going to show like a really brief demonstration here. You can't even see the Pokemon she's battling. So obviously we did not see it. We couldn't tell what was going on. So now we're going to get into a real battle. Of course, you're just going to want to whittle the Pokemon down as much as you can and then chuck a Pokeball at it, paralyzing it, putting it to sleep. Doing all that will also boost your chances of catching it. And she'll use Tackle with her Marill. Kind of cool that we get to see a Marill in battle this early on in the game, because I don't think you can find a Marills until like after the 4th gym or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. I remember that's how it was in Silver because, fun fact, we actually used a Marill and eventually an Azumarill, and it was pretty awesome. So yeah, be sure to check out the Pokemon Silver walkthrough if you haven't yet. It is the second walkthrough we did on the channel. If you didn't know, I'm going chronological order throughout the Pokemon games. So we are now closing out Gen 4 with Pokemon HeartGold. And it's just going to be really cool to see how the Pokemon franchise sort of evolved. But there we go. Lyra caught the weak little Rattata. And speaking of catching Pokemon, first she'll start you off with some Pokeballs for yourself. But here on Route 29, you can find a Pidgey, Rattata, Sentret, and Hoot-Hoot. Now, keep in mind, you can only find Hoot-Hoot if you're playing at night. That's one of the Pokemon in this game that can only be found in a certain time of day. There's plenty of others, though. And if we move on over to the north side of Route 29, which we saw in the last video, basically there was a little gate leading to Route 46. You can actually find Spearows and Geodudes up there. So Geodude could be very useful for the first gym because the first gym is a flying type user. I know it's not a rock type user for once. Thank goodness. I feel like there's so many of those. But yeah, Geodude could be useful. Spearow's also not too bad. So really most of the Pokemon here I recommend. We used a Sentret and a Furret in the Pokemon Silver walkthrough. It was a pretty fun mon to use, but I'm not planning on using any of them in this series. So for now, let's get through that grass, and then I'm actually going to check out the Apricorn tree if we didn't run into another wild mon. Now that we're level 8, I'm just going to run away from these guys. But yeah, in yesterday's video, we had to skip over this Apricorn tree because we didn't have the Apricorn box yet. But now that we have it, we can find this Apricorn and then get going with the real adventure if these freaking wild Pokemon would get out of my way. I mean, my goodness. It's just Hoots left and right. They're like swooping down from the trees, man. Kind of crazy. All right, let's see. Oh my gosh. It's like every 5 steps. Yo, what is the encounter rate in this game? Oh, I can't wait until after the first gym when we get access to repels. Or it might even be before the first gym. I'm not sure which one, but repels, super repels, max repels, they work wonders. And there we go. We can pick up this green apricorn and finally get moving again. Now, I think I'll heal up at the Pokemon Center. First time going in there in this series, but yeah, we did take on the rival. I don't think we got automatically healed. Yeah, we didn't. Okay. Actually, you know what? No, I'm going to do something else first before healing up. And that something else is going to be catching my second team member. Technically catching my first team member since we didn't catch Totodile. Anyways, on Route 30, your options become a bit better. You can find Caterpie in Pokemon Heart Gold, Weedle in Soul Silver, Spinarak in Heart Gold, Ladybug in Soul Silver, Metapod in Heart Gold, and Kakuna in Soul Silver. So, there are plenty of different options for you, mostly bug types, and you can tell that some of them were version exclusive, so you might want to think about that before you choose which game you're going to play. But I know what Pokemon I'm going after, and let's see if we got it. First tile, we did! That is right, I am using a Spinarak in this series. Of course, it eventually evolves into Ariados, and I've never used one of these guys before, a bug poison type. I really want to see how this thing fares against the rest of the game, and I got a critical hit. Gatorade! That was not the time for a crit, my dude. No, that was not what was supposed to happen. Now, luckily it's nighttime, so I think Spinarak has a bit better of a chance of being encountered. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, you can only find it at night. So, yeah, that's nice. It's only a 30% chance, too. So, thanks a lot for critting Totodile. Rage is a pretty weak move that only gets stronger if you get hit, like, consecutively. And, unfortunately, it just got a crit. And now we're running into these stupid rats. But yeah, Spinarak, I feel like it is a kind of forgotten about bug type. Like, I know Koga uses Ariados on his Elite Four team, but that's really about it, you know? Spinarak doesn't get too much love. Sure, it had like that one episode in the anime with Officer Jenny and stuff, but I want to use one on my team. Hopefully, we do not get a critical hit. Thank you, Gatorade. And he starts with Poison Sting, which isn't that strong. It is Stab, and it also has the chance to poison, which is kind of sick. And I think I already have a name in mind for this Spinarak. It is a spider, and oh my gosh, you popped out of the ball? Yo, why am I struggling so much to capture Pokemon? I mean, these are like the easy Pokemon that you should capture. Pokemon on the first couple of routes should stay in like the first Pokeball, as long as you just put a little bit of damage on them, but no, I am just the unluckiest player in the world right now. There we go, we got the Spinarak. But yeah, when I think of spiders, I think of Charlotte's Web, you know, that movie/book that I probably read way back in, I don't even know, 5th grade or something? Who knows? Maybe it was earlier than that. But yay, we're naming it Charlotte now. So, wait, Charlotte was the spider, right? Yeah, it was called Charlotte's Web. Okay. I just want to make sure I don't get that wrong. I might even end up spelling its name wrong, but I think Charlotte's right. I'm pretty sure it has 2 T's. Alright, y'all can yell at me in the comment section if it's wrong. I'm kind of curious to look at this guy, though. I want to see what, like, ability he has, because I don't even know what ability you have, and it is Swarm, so basically the bug-type version of Torrent, and you just have Poison Sting and String Shot. Nothing too crazy right now, but Spinarak will eventually become a beast. And look at him crawl on the ground. This is kind of scary, dude. We just got a, you know, probably 3-foot spider chasing us. Ooh, if that was in real life... I'm out of there. I'm sprinting. I don't care if I faint. I will sprint until I faint. Anyways, I think that's going to do it for this episode. I was actually planning on going a bit further and maybe fighting some trainers, but it took a little longer than I thought, so we're just going to call it here, and we'll get into some trainer battles and make our way towards a Violet City, home of the first gym, in tomorrow's episode. For now, though, I hope you guys enjoyed. Have a great rest of your day, and until next time, deuces.